Amid ongoing terror attacks, both inside and outside the country, Turkey hosted world leaders and heads of top economic bodies for the G20 Summit. Overshadowed by the attacks in Paris, security measures were at their highest level in Turkey's southern Antalya Province, where the summit was being held. During the two-day international event, leaders of G20 member states talked about the war in Syria and joint steps they could take against the threat from DAESH, also known as ISIS. And the leaders gave their messages.
Dünya ekonomisinin ve nüfusunun çok büyük bir bölümünü temsil eden G20 ülkelerinin terörizmle mücadele konusunda güçlü bir duruş ortaya koymuş olmalarıdır.
As was true with the terrible attacks that took place in Ankara, the killing of innocent people based on a twisted ideology is an attack not just on France, not just on Turkey, but it's an attack on the civilized world.
And they announced their action plans.
Wir senden als G20-Länder ein entschlossenes Signal aus, dass wir stärker sind als der Terrorismus. Und wir sind natürlich jetzt alle erst einmal darauf konzentriert, wo immer man helfen kann, dass in Paris die Täter gefasst werden, dass die Hintermänner und die Verbindungen aufgedeckt werden.
The killing of 129 people in Paris and the possibility of further attacks dominated what is normally a forum to discuss economic issues. At the end of the G20, world leaders issued a joint statement promising to fight terrorism, tighten border controls, and share more intelligence. We are resolved to address this threat by enhancing our cooperation and developing relevant measures to prevent and tackle this phenomenon, including operational information sharing, border management to detect travel, preventative measures, and appropriate criminal justice response. As Turkey's southern province of Antalya was preparing for the international event, southeastern provinces continued to struggle with ongoing PKK attacks. During the last week, PKK attacks killed at least 8 Turkish security officers and injured nearly 25 others in several southeastern provinces. And the most intense attacks were carried out in Silvan, a district of Diyarbakir province. Turkish security forces carried out a major security operation in order to capture PKK terrorists and remove barricades trapped with explosive devices which they had set in the streets. The curfew that was announced on November the 3rd ended after 12 days, when security forces restored peace within the city. Meanwhile, more than 15 PKK terrorists were killed during anti-terror operations across the country. While fighting the PKK, Turkey also continued its operations against DAESH. Turkish security forces identified the driver who helped 2 suicide bombers travel from Gaziantep to Ankara. At least 102 people died in a double suicide bombing on October the 10th. The driver, Halil Ibrahim Durgun, blew himself up in his apartment before security forces raided it. Security officers in Istanbul announced that they prevented an attack similar to the ones in Paris after detaining several DAESH terrorists during last week's operations.